Todd Chrisley reveals his prison nickname. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Todd Chrisley saw a 12-year jail sentence cut short thanks to a presidential pardon. However, during his time in prison, he was still able to make an impression. During a recent conversation, the Chrisley Knows Best star shared his own prison nickname. Todd Chrisley shared his prison nickname while appearing on his daughter Savannah's podcast. Todd, who became known as the family patriarch on Chrisley Knows Best, found himself convicted of charges including bank fraud and tax evasion back in 2022. He and his wife Julie were sentenced to a combined 19-year sentence. However, Todd and Julie would receive a presidential pardon from Donald Trump this past May. Since then, the two have talked about their time behind bars with fans. Recently, Todd and Julie appeared on their daughter Savannah Chrisley's podcast, where they talked about their time in prison. While Todd only spent around 2 years at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, he still made an impression on those he met, including getting his own nickname. As Todd explained, he felt his mind was elsewhere during his time in prison. He shared, "I feel like I did a podcast for 28 months with all the people that were around me. They called me Teflon Todd." Teflon refers to a brand name for a coating product often used in cookware. In other words, Todd felt like he was still a free man in spite of his situation. He continued, "In my head, I was still free. I did not take up residence there. I was in prison. Prison was not in me." As previously reported, Todd has maintained his innocence over the charges that led to his original conviction. On May 30, Todd touched on this when he appeared at a Nashville press conference alongside his daughter Savannah, who had also advocated for her parents during their time in prison. Todd had previously maintained his innocence concerning the charges against him. At the time, Todd shared, "I was convicted of something I didn't do. It could be you. It could be any of you. And somewhere in this room, someone has had a family member that has been affected by this system. So I understand the shame that's around it. But I refuse to feed into that because shame is like a cancer that just spreads. And I have no shame." Todd also continued to advocate for prisoners' rights. He shared, "So I will continue to fight for all the guys that I dealt with and that I was blessed to be with at FEC Pensacola. I will continue to expose the injustices that go on there and throughout the Department of and throughout the Bureau of Prisons." In a revelation that has both stunned fans and added another strange twist to his already dramatic journey, reality TV star Todd Chrisley has opened up about the nickname he earned while serving time behind bars, and it's one that says a lot about the man he's become inside prison walls. The former star of Chrisley Knows Best made the surprising confession during a deeply personal moment on his daughter Savannah's podcast, where he candidly discussed his prison life, emotional struggles, and the unexpected bonds he's formed during his incarceration. For a man who built his fame on Southern charm, luxury living, and strict discipline, the gritty realities of federal prison have reshaped Todd Chrisley in ways few could have predicted. And now, the world knows his nickname, Teflon Todd. The name, which evokes images of toughness, resilience, and an uncanny ability to dodge trouble, was reportedly given to Todd by fellow inmates early in his sentence. Despite his high-profile status, sharp suits, and celebrity persona, Chrisley has seemingly adapted to prison life in a way that shocked both his supporters and his critics. According to Todd, the nickname wasn't just thrown around lightly. It grew from his ability to stay composed and avoid conflict, even as he navigated some of the most difficult circumstances of his life. "They started calling me Teflon Todd because nothing stuck to me," he shared, a mix of pride and irony in his voice. "Even in there, people expected me to fall apart, but I held my head high." The phrase, "nothing sticks," carries heavy weight, not just in reference to his reputation, but also the legal firestorm that sent him and his wife Julie Chrisley to federal prison for bank fraud and tax evasion. Despite maintaining his innocence throughout the ordeal, Todd was convicted and sentenced to serve over a decade behind bars. Yet even in confinement, the image of Todd as a man who defies expectations persists. Behind those prison walls, Chrisley's well-known perfectionism and attention to detail have reportedly earned him respect. Inmates describe him as organized, calm under pressure, and even helpful to those struggling emotionally. He walks like a man who still believes he's on camera, one source claimed. It's like he never stopped being Todd Chrisley. But the nickname is more than a symbol of confidence. It reflects a transformation too. Todd has spoken openly about the introspective time he's had behind bars. Praying more, reading more, and confronting parts of himself he used to bury beneath the glitz and glam of reality television. Prison breaks you down, then it builds you up, he said. I've learned who I really am, and that guy, he's not afraid of anything. Still, the idea of Teflon Todd comes with its share of controversy. Critics argue the nickname reinforces a sense of invincibility, even as his past continues to haunt him. Legal analysts and online voices have questioned whether the Chrisleys have truly accepted accountability. Others, however, see it as an ironic twist, a man found guilty in court, yet still seen by some as untouchable. Savannah, who has been her parents' loudest advocate during their imprisonment, defended the moniker during her podcast. People have no idea what he's gone through, she said. My dad is stronger now than he's ever been. That nickname doesn't mean he's above the law. It means he's survived hell and kept his soul intact. Since Todd's sentencing, fans have been divided. Some remain loyal, believing in his innocence and applauding his courage. Others continue to call for humility and accountability. But no matter where people stand, there's no denying the Chrisley name still holds public fascination. From courtroom drama to podcast confessions, every update pulls in massive attention. Teflon Todd has quickly taken over social media, sparking hashtags, memes, and endless speculation about his current lifestyle behind bars. Some wonder whether the nickname signals a future TV comeback, perhaps a post-prison memoir or docuseries. With Todd's sharp wit and media savvy, it wouldn't be a surprise if the name becomes a brand of its own. And while Todd Chrisley remains far from the luxurious world he once flaunted on USA Network, his new identity inside prison walls has revealed a different kind of strength. It's not about designer clothes, flashy homes, or perfectly coiffed hair. It's about mental grit. In many ways, Teflon Todd is a metaphor, not just for survival, but for a complicated man living through the consequences of fame, wealth, and choices that spiral beyond control. Now, instead of walking red carpets, Todd walks prison corridors. Instead of directing a reality show, he manages a new reality. One that's stripped down, raw, and relentlessly honest. But if there's one thing the world has learned about Todd Chrisley, it's that he refuses to fade quietly. And whether the nickname was meant as mockery or praise, Teflon Todd is here to stay. A man who may be behind bars, but continues to make headlines far beyond them. Did you listen to Todd and Jubilee during their recent podcast appearance? Make sure to come back to TV Shows Ace for all the latest TV and celebrity news. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.